Here with another episode of Star Wars Alternate History, episode 12, and the picture on your screen is of the planet Scipio. Now, before I'll give you a little bit of background on what's going on here. The question is, what if Rush Clovis retained control of the banking clan? So, in the arc of episodes in Star Wars The Lost Missions, Rush Clovis helps Padme Amidala reveal a conspiracy within the banking of the Munes type of thing, and he is then put in control of the banking clan after the leaders at that moment are ousted from power. So he was blackmailed by Count Dooku, and essentially it's made look like he betrayed the Republic. But our question here is, what if Rush Clovis retained control of the banking clan? So Rush Clovis doesn't die, and he's not blackmailed by Count Dooku. The simple thing is, the most important thing here is Palpatine wouldn't receive control of the banking clan. The banking clan is the money center of the galaxy. At this point, before this all happened, it was very neutral. Now the Republic has control of it. It's not so neutral anymore. I don't know really what happens with Confederacy monetary policies afterwards, but the Republic itself is now in control of it, specifically Palpatine, who becomes the Emperor. This is probably, I would assume, very essential in his rise to power, would be to control the banking clan, because if he doesn't control the monetary policy, he doesn't control the most important part of his empire, because that is how everything runs, from government to smugglers to politicians. Well, that's government. You get my point. That is how every part of the empire runs, from army to whatnot. So this Palpatine would no longer have that exact control, because when he comes to power. So due to this, Rush Clovis retains control, no longer blackmailed. Palpatine doesn't have the ultimate power he kind of needs to come up other than public support to rise up into power. Another thing is Rush Clovis in these episodes, I would say, is seen as a, what should we say? Earlier, he was seen as a traitor to the Republic in a different sense. In these episodes, he is seen as a more stable character who is neutral. He's not going to make monetary policies that favor one side or the other. The only reason he did was because he's blackmailed. But in this case scenario, he's not blackmailed. He's not going to be forced into it. So, therefore, this is going to create a higher stability, because Rush Clovis isn't going to be making decisions that favor one side or another and make the banking accounts go dry. So, the Clone Wars are going to last longer due to the certain fact that there's more money in the banks both sides will be using, because the banking clan is supplying both sides with money. So, the other thing I want to point out is that Rush Clovis is a non-mutant leader. He's actually a human, and most of the leaders of the banking clan are Munes. They are from the planet Munilus, and often the Munes were involved in banking policy, while Rush Clovis himself was a human. Um, Palpatine, he was a human, but there was a reason for them handing it over to Palpatine. And it's because it was banking clan was seen as corrupt, and they needed to give it to something that was really trustworthy. And Palpatine's the head of the Republic, so it's a little different situation because Rush Clovis is head leader. So I feel like there would be non-Mune resentment. The Munes wouldn't really like Clovis much because he wasn't exactly one of them. Just kind of like segregation on our planet and whatnot. Though not as heavy or whatnot, because often when you're rich and powerful, you are somewhat accepted into society, no matter how different. And again, I just want to say this assumes Count Dooku doesn't use this situation to his advantage to help Palpatine. So, this is all dependent on not blackmailing, which, knowing Count Dooku, there's no way he could have actually gotten around that unless Count Dooku's character was a completely different person. But this would create a higher banking stability in my mind because of Rush Clovis's likely neutrality. And Palpatine wouldn't receive control of the economic center of the galaxy. So, I just want to remind you guys, if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, go to Netflix or some iTunes or something and look up Star Wars Clone Wars Lost Missions, and it should be like the Return of an Old Friend episode, something like that. Anyways, you should be able to recognize it from my talk here. Very good story arc. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. Indiana signing out.